Ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher, and we're coming to the end of the wholeheartedly everybody's favourite Megara trash. I actually wanted to show you Lei Shen, but wow, have I had some bad experiences on Lei Shen in the last few hours. And frankly, I just do not have that kind of time to sit there and be overcharged to death on multiple occasions. But it's okay. It's okay. We can show a few different things here. The Frost DK. That's obviously what we're doing. I'm actually playing two-handed at the moment. I've got to pick up another single target weapon before I do it. I'm not even bullshitting either. Let me show you. That is like one of my only. Oh man, that is only one of the only one-handed weapons I currently have on this character. It just hasn't happened for me, you know. You want that drop to happen, but when you're gearing as many specs as I gear, when you're gearing like 31 different specs, there's gonna be that item, and I'm afraid it is the one-handers. It's the one-handers for the Frost DK that have really sort of eluded me a little bit. So that's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get that done as soon as humanly possible. The Frost DK. Firstly, I guess we should compare it to the Unholy DK. A lot of people want my opinion on that. I prefer Unholy, purely because I feel it has a little bit more to it. I'm not going to refresh diseases on this. Go away. I feel it has a little bit more to it, and you're going to see a little secret here, guys. I do not have Path of Frost keybound. I know. I'm terrible, aren't I? I'm just like the most horrible person in the world. I prefer Unholy because I think it's got a little bit more thinking to it. Frost is just so brutal. I compared it to Bane from the Dark Knight Rises in the first guide. I still feel that way. It's bone crunching. It's the choice between using a scalpel or using a sledgehammer. And that's what it feels to me. I feel like I'm tearing limb from limb with the Frost DK, and sometimes that's actually really fun. Sometimes I want to be like that way. I just want to walk in and I want to use Thor's hammer. I don't want to particularly be meticulously picking things through. But, so, if in long-term play, I did play Frost for an entire expansion, pretty much. Whoa, them pets, though. I did play Frost for an entire expansion, pretty much. And in that time, I did learn to be a little bit bored and tired of it and begging for Unholy to make more of a presence felt. Can I get really lucky with a Nuggenfogger here? Just give me some undead goodness. Oh, you sweet baby in the Jesus. And that doesn't always happen. Now, I'm just going to notice on the pull here, you can see I'm actually taking my time a little bit. We're going to wipe here, but I'm okay with that because my anti-magic shell is actually going to prop me a lot of runic. Played for. I actually played for that. You notice on the pull, though, I didn't go spam, obliterate. That's a little bit of a habit I've picked up over the years. Allows you to be a little bit more wary about what you do with your time, okay? You'll generate a little bit of extra resources in the early game, and I like that, okay? So I'm going to use my wonderful little ability. So we're just going to talk about, actually, while we're at this point, I'm going to talk about the Soul Reaper. You can see I'm actually using a lot of blood charges to make sure my Soul Reaper's up. Like there. So I can use my... you can see I don't run into that issue where I've got just epic Unholy runes just sitting around doing goddamn nothing for huge periods of time. Just saving those blood charges there to make sure that I have the ability to do that. And I'm going to use, again, my anti-magic shell here just to proc some nice stuff. So I'm going to get my diseases up. And in between all this absorb, you can see I've maxed it out there with using the rampage to my advantage there. It's kind of weird to say that anti-magic shell is such a DPS-centric cooldown, but it really, really is. It just generates you so many resources. I'm also holding on a little bit to my Empower Rune weapon. The reasoning oh, you are going to breathe on us all. Where are you going, son? I'm just watching that. I've been in so many of these Megara fights where people are just breathing the fucking raid constantly that it scares me. So you'll note a little bit of time taken, a little bit of thinking, and it's not about spamming my resources away as soon as possible. You can see I'm just generally, I'm going to cast a couple... I'm going to couple a couple of Frost Strikes in between, but I'm mainly using them to generate more Obliterate. So you can see right there. And now I know my Soul Reaper's off cooldown, so I'm going to use a couple of Frost Strikes just to get back to Soul Reaper and get that back on. You can see I'm taking my time, making sure I'm getting those getting those Rhyme procs, making sure they're working for me. Let's pop that there. Use that Unholy Blight, that's going to generate, and then again using the AMS. I want to spam away my runes because I'm actually going to use AMS to generate me a lot more runic power via Blood Tap. You can see that happening there, a ton more runes. Sadly didn't line up with the Pillar of Frost, but that's okay. Not going to be wholeheartedly hating on it for that. And all you're seeing when you're playing Frost is just these consistently large, brutal attacks just coming in, making waves, always doing their thing. So I'm just, again, I'm building my Frost Strikes, okay? I'm not being too rushy. You can see I've got Rune Power, but I'm not using it right now. I'm going to use it now. while I'm in this weird down phase, and that's going to keep that little bank of resources going, which is going to come in really handy. The guy is actually quite cool for showing this. It's keeping that resource bank nice and open for making sure that I've got Obliterates, and I've got Soul Reaper to use on cooldown, all that kind of stuff. And you can see this wonderful situation developing there, where balancing my resources is not giving me that downtime. So many of you will be used to. I have no doubt so many of you used to that. And again, get rid of the runes, because we are going to AMS this. Anytime there is magic damage in a fight, guys, you have to be thinking, okay, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I use this to my advantage? How? All the time. If there's magical damage, you ask yourself this question. Am I going to die from this? No? Cool. Then how can I turn this into extra DPS? All the time. It has such a short cooldown. AMS is such a short cooldown that you'd be crazy not to think of it that way. And again, using that blood tap, saving that 5 stack there. I'm more concerned about my Soul Reaper right now. I don't have a killing machine. And without a killing machine, I'm not too bothered about spamming away a Frost Strike or whatever. And again, use that, and I want to generate another blood charge just to make sure I've got that in the bank. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's a simple style of play. There's not much to it that's, like, complicated. A lot of people want some complication in their specs, and I think that's where Frost actually falls down a little bit. It does not cater to those who like a bit of a thinking spec. Kind of like old Survival, yeah? Old Survival Hunters, it was such a simplistic style of play that it kind of frustrated a lot of people to feel that they weren't doing enough. Oh, that is a really nice point for an Empowered Rune Weapon. I just want to say I used Empowered Rune Weapon there because I had that Pillar of Frost lined up. I had all the resources that I had saved, in fact, from the AMS. And I also had the Bloodlust. That's why I use it. Okay, when you've got a 5-minute cooldown like Empowered Rune Weapon, it's certainly a DPS cooldown. Opportunity has to be right for it, though. So I'm going to build a Blood Charge there. Cool. Avoid. Get out of the way. Undead. So much better. I know that so many of you, I don't want to harp too much on it, is running into this downtime. Again, just spamming my runes before I pop the AMS. I don't want to waste a lot of blood charges by having already full runes and then trying to use the Frost Strikes. It's a simple decision. It's not something that's complicated by any means. And it's not something that people need to be stressed over. I think Frost is one of those specs where people look for complication. I think that's where the elements of things like Master Frost come from, is people are looking to maybe feel a little bit more deserving of what this specs does. You've got Cinders, bro. Now, I don't want to tell you how to play your class, but move, yeah? Why don't you just fuck off? That would be nice. And all I care about, when we get into this execute phase, all we really care about is making sure that we're using those Soul Reapers effectively. So I'm actually saving those blood charges actively. I'm not trying to spam them. This is where you can kind of fall down with macroing blood tap in, is I want that blood tap to be for a specific reason. I want it to be for this. So I'm going to use this here. There goes the AMS. Get rid of those runes so I can actually use these blood charges. I'm going to build them up to like 12 maybe? 10 will do. 10 will do, yeah. And then I'm going to use them effectively. And we're going to pop an Icebound on top of that, just for safety reasons. It's just habit. Always good habit. Although it's LFR, you're not going to die. It's always good habit. Now, I've got that lovely Pillar of Frost coming up, which is why I'm building my blood charges there. You can see I've gone all the way up to 11. And I'm okay with that. You see the way I've saved it? Because then I can just instantly make use of it. Okay? Again, it's all about ensuring that you have the resources available to use the spells at your command. Let's refresh that. At no point am I suffering here. So many people can't move from the poison. Hey, did anybody notice this big green thing on the floor? Maybe it's a DPS increase. I don't know. That's how the Frost DK plays. Simple ideas, simple strategies, and a ton of fun. And Warlocks are really balanced, which is something I really think we should all stress on, yeah? That Warlocks really work out. It's a lovely class, guys. It's brutal. It's vicious. Yeah? It's vicious, and it's not complicated. It really isn't. You've got to slow it down. A lot of people rush it. That's where your problems are going to come in. Frost DK, two-hander. Look forward to the one-handed stuff. See you later, guys. Bye.